Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 24th to the 30th of August 2015. So we have the Sun and Jupiter meeting this week in the early degrees of Virgo. So this is a very golden aspect, only happens about once a year. And Jupiter's like a second sun, really. It takes the sun's energy and expands it. It's amplification, and it's finding our magnificence. So we have some very golden energy at the beginning of the week. We've done a lot of clearing out lately as Saturn begins to leave Scorpio and deliver the test results, as it were. And now we've cleared the space, which is what Jupiter likes to do, clear some room first so that we've got some space to expand into. So the Sun meeting Jupiter in the first degrees of Virgo over the fixed star Regulus. This really is a triple step into your regalness, step into your majesty, step into your magnificence. Take your life force solar energy and radiate it out to the greater stratosphere. So very, very regal energy around at the beginning of the week. This happening while we're still in the Venus retrograde in Leo, so we've spoken about this over the last couple of weeks. Returning to core desires, returning to your passion, to your joy, not racing forwards with all the Virgo energy which wants to plot and plan a whole cycle, but making a skeletal structure, but very much going back in and having a look at all the things that make us happy, all the things that we're talented with, all the things that we're grateful for, and adding those into the plans so that we're actually planning for something that will bring us greater joy and radiance in the long run. So Venus is retrograde in Leo up until the 6th of September, and we're right in the middle of that phase. So all of that together is complete goldenness, complete expansiveness, and complete majesty over the use of your energy. Because if we think about Virgo, it's where we use our energy for service. It loves to be doing things, it loves to be productive, but we don't want to just be shuffling papers in an office. We want to actually be taking our energy, using it wisely, challenging whether doing more equals more success, whether we can actually slim that down, delegate, and do less but do it more deeply and have a more profound effect by being a bit stiller. So this week, although we've got lots of energy in Virgo, we are heading towards the full moon in Pisces, which will bring that stillness and that opposition in by the weekend. Before that, though, on Thursday we have Mercury going into Libra. Now there's going to be a retrograde in September and October, so we're ready for our next Mercury retrograde in an air sign. We've had two already this year, one in Aquarius in January, February, and one in Gemini in June. So we're on the third air sign Mercury retrograde. And Libra is sociable, creative. It's all about finding the balance between the higher and lower self, or the inner and outer self, balancing the gender aspects, masculine and feminine, doing and being. So there's a great deal of perspective with the air sign. Don't forget, it's the mind, it's the thinking mind, but this time it's how we apply our mind to create a sense of peace and balance. So we're approaching the retrograde next month, so it's worth keeping a diary, see what comes up on those levels, where our creativity is, where our balance is, where our flow is. This could be shown to us in the first phase of the retrograde by a lack of balance. So if you're seeing something that's out of balance, there's very much an aspect as well of the passive-aggressive, because Aries can be aggressive opposite Libra, which can be too passive. So is there a passive-aggressive struggle going on, or any repressed anger? So in the first phase of a retrograde, we see the awareness, and then when it goes backwards, we do the recalibration work, and when it goes forwards again, we have the realization that we are better off, that we've done the necessary work, and that we've created improvement in our lives. But for me, I feel with this one, we're going on a bit of a journey of the imagination, because Libra is very, very creative and talented, especially when it comes to the flow of words and energy. So we're taught very much to be practical, to be realistic. Many people these days, when they have a dream, immediately the control brain comes in and says, yes, but I can't do that because it won't make money. Or yes, but I can't do that because I've got responsibilities and obligations. And I feel that if we work with this Mercury Libra retrograde over the next couple of months and allow some time for the imagination, allow some time for that absolute heart centre where we create from, to have some space and flow, then this will really help when we are making those plans forwards when Venus goes direct. So a bit of a magical, mystical journey coming up with Mercury and Libra. Allow that poetry to flow, allow your life to be more of a dance, allow a bit of space for movement and energy healing, rather than always having to have that control. I control my future with my mind, I plan, I have responsibilities, I have to do this. That's not practical, that's not rational. We need to kind of balance that out, if anything, and make a lot more time for imagining and creating from that most potent inner space. There's a deal of curiosity here as well, because in order to break down some of the obligations and some of the rationale, we have to actually go in and challenge whether what we're believing and what we're thinking is true in the first place. So we need to get a bit more curious, not just take things on face value, not just do what we're told, not build on old beliefs that were not true in the first place. So a little bit of curiosity and intrigue. If there's something that's affecting your life, maybe have a look at the core belief behind it and ask, with a sense of humour, is this actually true? What if it were the opposite? Because sometimes we can't think ourselves out of a belief because we've got so many confirming structures around it that will almost prove that it's true. But what if we try on the opposite shoe straight away? What if we look at the exact opposite of what we're believing? That opens up the scale of polarity, that allows us that space and that vision to then find our own comfortable centre point. So sometimes jumping to the exact opposite, which is what we're good at when Mercury's in an air sign, we can actually see the range, we can kind of expand ourselves a bit more and not live within those confining structures. So this is going to be going all the way through till October, but maybe keep a little diary now of where your energy is going, what your thoughts are, what they're creating. Can you make some space? Can you believe in something bigger? And can you get back into the right brain of imagination, which is going to be beautifully highlighted by the full moon in Pisces on Saturday. So every month we have a full moon opposite the sun. What this means is the sun is walking through a sign and we're getting used to those energies. So we're just stepping into Virgo now, and the sun is walking through the sign of Virgo and we're getting used to that collective field. So it's preparing. The kids are getting their exam results and preparing to go back to school. People are making plans after their Leo summer holidays of what they want to do work-wise for the next year, having had that space to stop and dream a little bit. So very productive, very connected, and quite a mental sign there with Virgo. And just as we get used to that energy, the full moon comes along, which is opposite, like a depth charge. So from deep within, we suddenly make contact with our Pisces subconscious selves. And this is very much the left brain, right brain axis. So where the Virgo sun fits well with the left brain of rational and logical, productive and linguistic, we have the full moon in Pisces sitting firmly in the other hemisphere of the right brain. So here's our golden opportunity to get in contact with that imagination, with the fantasy, with the what ifs, and with the curiosity of challenging what we think we believe, going more into the realm of feeling and intuition. So it's a once a year aspect, this, and it's looking very golden because we actually have the Sun and Jupiter in Virgo, which I've spoken about, and the moon is meeting Neptune in Pisces. So that's amplifying that energy as well. Neptune is like a tuning fork, and it's our connection to the higher feminine, to the divine. So we have that priestess energy, male or female, we have that connection to our intuition, to tuning in and to resonating on a certain vibration coming up with this Pisces full moon. So both axes are actually equal. It's a great time for balancement, and as we've got this Mercury retrograde coming up, which is going to be a story of balancement, we might as well begin that procedure now. So once again, everything is falling into place just at the right time. So to round things up, we have the Sun and Jupiter expanding our regality in Virgo, where we put our energy, what our level our vibrations at, and what we're actually expanding into. And then we have the full moon in Pisces next to Neptune, calling us into those intuitive realms, calling us in to be able to break down some of the restrictions and confinements of the limited mind and get more into our intuitive and cellular and resonant self. And this is all preparing us for the coming Mercury retrograde in Libra, where we can balance those two. So you could think of it as work and play, you could think of it as inner and outer, higher and lower, whichever way you want to visualize it. We're about to head on a fantastic journey. It's all going on within, and there's still no need to actually activate and step forward until maybe late September, when some of the planets go direct, and the plans that we start to make from that point will be so much more heartfelt, so much more creative, passionate, and directing our soul force energy, that we don't go round again on the wheel just working for the sake of it. We're actually creating our reality where our work is our joy, and we get to spend more time doing what we love and being our true authentic selves. So those are the horoscopes for this week, and I'll see you next week. Just a quick reminder, I have an online group, a subscription group. It's very good value. You get a free online course and a subscription to lively daily chats on relevant subjects. So one of the subjects we're discussing at the moment is how to work with Chiron in your chart. With the coming Pisces full moon, we need to heal that wound. We need to get out of the victim stance, and we need to get into that inner wholeness. So we're looking at how to take Chiron, which is in Pisces, which will be activated by the full moon at the weekend, and how to actually work with that so that we can heal the past and step forwards into that greater magnificence. So that's just one of the conversations going on there. We'll be looking at some of the hectic energies that are coming up on the political level in September and how to navigate those waters. And you get to learn your chart at your own pace, whatever level you are. So if you'd like to come and join that group, it's just a £5 a month subscription, and you get access to lovely people, lovely discussions, and your own personal astrologer to start to walk with and learn your chart. So do come and find me, www.astrozoe.com or Zoe Astro on YouTube if you'd like to receive my weekly videos, or contact me if you'd like to have a one-to-one Skype reading. So have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week.